He literally looks inside of my soul without breaking any eye contact. He's like, I have $1 million in my bank account. How does one react to that? I was like, cool, but I'm still not telling you how much I earn. Hey guys, I hope you are all doing really well. Today I'm coming at you with a brand new video, and this one is going to be a story time about the time I went on a date with an actual millionaire. So let's get cracking. But before we do, please make sure to like this video and subscribe. It really means a lot to me and it does wonders for this channel. I'm almost at 10K and I want to thank each and every single one of you. Okay, so this all started when my friend last minute messages me and says, Rita, do you want to go to the Argyle, a club in Sydney? I actually wasn't doing anything that Saturday night and I was like, yes, let me call this girl Mary. So Mary and I decided to go to the Argyle. She brings a couple of her friends. Meanwhile, my other friend made plans with her other friend and they're at the Rocks. We were hanging out earlier that day and she was like, oh cool, let's get an Uber together and let's get an Uber back so it's kind of cheaper, and I'm like, that is perfect. So it's about midnight and I'm texting my friend, let's call her April. And she's like, all right, like I'm ready to go. My friend Mary bought me a tequila shot, right? And I felt really bad and I was like, oh, let me just get her another tequila shot and we're just gonna take the shot and then I'm gonna bounce. So we take the shot and we're like, yes. And by that time, I've already had maybe 5 drinks in me. So I was feeling loose, I was feeling tipsy, I was feeling great. So I was like, all right, I'm about to leave. And then I look around and none of Mary's friends are around us, right? So I was like, all right, like, oh, let's go to your friends. Like, where are your friends? And she's like, oh, I think they're at like the smoking lounge or whatever. So as soon as we get in there, my friend gets stopped by a really tall, broad-shouldered, like olive-skinned man. He had like brown curly hair. He was very attractive, green eyes, and so he was kind of like trying to chat her up, talk to her, you know, and I was just standing there, and this all happens within the space of like a minute. I like hear this thick ass accent and someone tapping on my shoulder, and I turn around. Oh my freaking god, you got like, you know My Type by Sweetie? Literally my type of man is like looking at me as I turn around and I'm like, oh, okay, hello. And I'm like, what is the accent? Straight away I'm like, he must be German. He had like long-ish, like dirty blonde hair, right? And then I look into his eyes and they're like green, they are beautiful, and I'm just like, oh god, what did I do to deserve this? What good karma have I done to deserve this man, right? As soon as he saw me, like I felt like a sense of entitlement. He like started like touching my face and like playing with my face, but like he had this vibe about him where I felt like I've known him for like 10 years. It was insane, and so it kind of was annoying, but I started doing it back to him and I'm like, oh, like you're German, aren't you? Like you're German, like nice accent, like blah blah blah. He's like, I'm not German, try again. And I'm like, you have to be Swedish. If my lashes fall off, it's because my wig has been snatched. So we're going back to the German thing now, and I'm like, no, like you have to be German, like your accent is so German. And he's like, try the people that built the wall in Germany. Try that. Guys, you know what I said? Okay, this is literally the most embarrassing thing that I've ever said in my entire freaking life. You wanna hear what I said? I was like, Poland? I'm actually surprised. Red flag number 1 that he didn't run away that second. And he's like, Russia, I'm from Russia. Like I woke up the next morning and I'm like, what the hell? Like I literally was in Berlin, Germany a couple of months ago. I'm Russian, like I know this, like right, I know this. I'm like, wait, what, you're Russian? Like where are you from? And he's like, Khabarovsk. Guys, I come from a small city in Russia. It's called Vladivostok. And you guys know how big Russia is, right? Like huge, like literally it's the biggest country in the world. Khabarovsk and Vladivostok are like an hour drive away from each other, which is like the craziest thing. It's like you meet someone, like it blew my mind. I'm like, what? I was born in Vladivostok. And he's like, no way, what? Instantly after that, he started talking Russian to me. And I started talking Russian back, and we had like a full-blown Russian conversation from this point onward. He's like, what do you do for work? I'm like, I work at Daily Mail. And he's like, oh, Daily Mail, isn't that like the paper that's like for grandmas or something? And I'm just like, ha ha ha, like, I don't even know what that means. He grabs me by the hand and he like takes me somewhere quieter and we start talking there. And I'm like, oh, so what do you do for work? I work in marketing. And I'm like, something is fishy about that. Like the way that he said it, made me kind of be like, when I smell bullshit, I like to call people out on their bullshit when I think that it is, and I'm just like, really? Marketing? You work in marketing? Really? Where? And he's like, oh, you know, like independently. I'm like, full-time? And he's like, no, like part-time here and there. So I was like, oh, okay, like this guy's just like, you know, probably finished uni, or he's just still at uni or something. So I look down on my phone and my friend's like, where are you? Let's go. And I'm like, all right, it's time to go. So he literally is like, I'm done at the club, like I'm gonna go out with you. So he literally takes my hand and walks me out of the Argyle. He's like, oh, I'm gonna walk you to where your friends are. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Now that I'm saying it, I'm like, what the hell, Rita? Like, don't do this ever. Don't just go somewhere with a stranger. But as we were trying to find it, I was kind of drank and I was like, wait, where is the Link Cafe? And he was like trying to like look for it, and then he literally just takes me by the hand and he just leads me out like past the rocks and out into like where his car was, and he's like, I drove here. I'm like, wait, so either he's been drinking and driving, or he's just, you know, not drinking and then driving. Like, it was weird. He's like, come with me, like I'm gonna show you this observatory thing, it's really cute. And I'm just like, no, like you're a stranger, I'm not gonna go with you anywhere. Dude, like my friend is literally waiting for me, like I need to find where she is. And I look down at my phone, she's like, oh, we're right outside of the Argyle, and this is like a 2-minute walk. I'm like, okay, cool, like my friend told me that I need to be at the Argyle, like I'm gonna go. And he's like, wait, what's your number? I tell him my number, and he puts it down on his phone, and then he calls me so I can have the number. So he smiled and he's like, all right, what are you doing tomorrow? You work at 5, right? Like, let me pick you up, we're gonna go somewhere. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And I'm like, you can go into like the Argyle, you can go into the club. He's like, no, I already found my wife. Flag number freaking, I don't know, 6 million, right? I was like, okay, whatever. So he literally drove off, and I completely, like my mind completely forgot about it. I wake up the next morning now, and I start doing the productive things that I said that I was going to do, and then, guess who calls me? Guess what he is on my phone? Oh, actually I deleted it, so you can't see it, but it said Russian boy with like a boy emoji. Russian boy. 2 p.m. now. I am hung over as all hell. He calls me and he's like, hey, so how are you feeling from last night? And I'm like, I'm good, how are you? He's like, oh, so you probably need a juice or something to mend your hangover, right? And I'm like, not knowing what is going on, internally screaming on the inside. Cool, so you say you live in Bondi, right? Okay, cool. Oh, what I completely forgot to mention is that he said his age. Do you guys want to know how old he is? 21. I was wearing a cheetah print outfit as well, and I'm just like, oh, I am a cougar. Anyways, continuing on. So, do you mind if I pick you up and we'll go and get some juice? Yeah, do you want to meet up Bondi Junction, Westfield? How is that telling him where I live? Now, also mind you, this is my first date out of a 5-year relationship. Before that, I was in a 2-year relationship. So literally all of my life, from 16 to 23, I have been in a long-term relationship, and technically, guys, I have never been on a date. Let that sink in. I hang up that phone and I'm like, what just happened? Okay, so I'm literally standing at the place where we scheduled to meet at 2:30 p.m. on the dot. Was there on time, and I'm just standing waiting for 2 minutes, and I'm like, okay, maybe he's a little bit late, but whatever. And then I get this text message, and he's like, "Я тут," which means I'm here, with an upside down emoji. I'm like, first of all, what does an upside down emoji even mean? And I'm just like, me too. I look around and I'm like, he ain't there. He's not there. He's like, nice. I'm like, okay.
Oh. Okay.
So I'm just standing there with my thumb in my ass. I'm like, oh, nормально нашел, which is like, did you get here all right? So I'm on my phone, I look up, and then I see him, and I'm just like, oh my freaking god, I was not imagining it, I was not drunk and catfishing myself. He is actually beautiful. Another thing I was sort of worried about was like the height, because, you know, I was wearing heels, and at that moment I kind of was the same height as him, but at this time I was wearing sneakers, and he was taller than me. He was like this much taller than me, and I'm just like, okay, great. He hugs me, and I'm just like, hey. He's like, hey, how are you? And I'm just like, I'm good, how are you? The first thing he said is like, oh my god, you look completely different. Like, you look like a 16-year-old, like, innocent little kid. Like, last night you looked like wild or whatever. I'm like, yeah, like, you know, that's just how I look. Like, I didn't know what to say. So he's like, you know what, let's get out of here, let's just go. And I'm like, you know, I was kind of expecting to just talk in a cafe for an hour or two. Later on, I found out that first dates, you only go to a cafe for like an hour on a first date, and that's it, and you have to move on with your life. But I didn't know any of these things. So mistake number 1. And big mistake number 2 was that he took me inside of his car. He took me inside of his car. I should never have gone into a car with a stranger. What am I doing? I could have been killed. What am I doing? We're in a mall, and there's like sushi place and then you go down into the car park. So we're walking down, he's like, oh wait, just 1 minute. And he goes into the sushi place. Literally, this guy is like serving someone, right? Like talking to someone. And as soon as he stops, he's like trying to walk away to like do something else. But this guy, God, I don't even know his name. But let's just say for the purposes of this video that his name is Igor because he's Russian and you know, Igor is a Russian name. So, Igor walks up to this guy and he's like, can I please get a sushi blah 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 blah, and starts ordering straight away. I'm like, flag number 629. He literally started talking to the server like he's just like some, you know, server or whatever. He gets the sushi and he just literally starts eating it as we're walking. This entire time that he was on this date, this is how he looked at me, right? Ready? The entire freaking date. It got to the point where I was like, what are you looking at? And then I'm like, what are you looking at? And I'm like, what are you looking at? Like, we get to his car. And guys, it is a white Lexus. Goes into the car and I go in with him and he has like this massive screen inside of the car. And I'm just like, what is going on? Oh my God, the first thing that he said to me was, how much do you make at Daily Mail? I was like, okay, you may be like living in Russia for a really long time, but we don't say how much we make, right? He's like, no, come on, like, what do you make? What do you make? And I'm like, I'm not going to say how much I make. And he's like, oh, are you like ashamed of your salary or something? What did you just say to me? I was just like, no, like, I just am not going to be saying my salary to every single person that asks me, do you know what I mean? So anyways, he's like, let's go to Double Bay. I like Double Bay. And I'm like, I love Double Bay. Let's go there. He's like, all right, cool. He's just talking non-stop. Oh yeah, you know, like before I was saying that I'm in marketing, but actually like I have this huge business and it is in marketing, and like see that ad, yeah, like I do that kind of stuff. And I'm like, so what do you want to do? Because I'm so into like people's purpose and what they want to be doing for their lives. And he's like, ты знаешь, я прям вообще ни хрена не хочу, я просто хочу сидеть и просто ничего не делать, чтобы деньги ко мне приходили, ты знаешь. You know Gary Vaynerchuk? He's literally talking like that, but in Russian. Half of it I kind of didn't understand because he was talking like this, like he was really, really fast. I was just sitting there and I'm just like, oh, I do not have to think of anything to say because I'm just sitting here chilling. And he's like, oh, like I didn't take the right turn. I guess we're going to Bondi Beach. I'm like, okay, cool. Bondi Beach is cool. So we're driving to Bondi Beach and I'm parking. We get out. He's just like looking at me up and down and up and down and up and down. And I'm like, boy, what? Tell me what it is. Tell me what it is right now. And he's just like, you look so good, like blah 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 blah, like giving me all these compliments the entire time, and I'm just like, thank you, like I know, but like you don't have to say it, but like okay, keep saying it because I like it. He's like, do you like watermelon? And I'm just like, I love watermelon. And he's like, okay, let's get a watermelon. I'm like, okay. You know what he did? Guys, please, Me Too movement, just please, I know. I should have ran at this point. So I was wearing a dress, right? This is not what you think it is. My shoulders were showing and I'm walking and he literally pinches this, like this fat roll here, and he pinches it and he's like, oh, haha, like, haha, like, and looks at me like, haha, and then like looked me up and down, and I'm just like, what does that mean? And he's like, and he doesn't say anything, and I'm like, okay, whatever, like, that was kind of rude, but I'm not gonna say anything. We get into Woolworths, and I'm just like waiting for him because I'm like, I'm so tired, like I'm so hungover, and he like comes out with like half of a watermelon, and he's like looking me up and down, being all playful, being all cute, but like at that point I was kind of already annoyed at that thing, and like it was so weird. It was like, either I was really annoyed at him or either I was like, oh my God, you're so cute, like, and you like get it, and you were like really talkative, and like I feel close with you, I feel like I'm myself with you, but then also you're being a dick. So like we've already come out and we're walking towards the beach. He's like, nice dress, like did you just want to wear something comfortable or something? It's just like such like a different dress from what you were wearing last night. What did you just say? Basically calling me fat, insinuating that I'm fat, and now I'm saying that like my clothes are frumpy and they're not like hot or cute or sexy or whatever. Like how, like think that in your head, but what is the point of saying that to me, sir? Every time someone says something that isn't outright rude, I'm just like, what do you mean? Continue. Tell me what it really is, baby. He was just like, oh, ha 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 ha. Like every time I would say, what do you mean? I'm like, this freaking. And then he's like, oh, so what do your parents do? And I'm just like, my mom's like a Russian school teacher. He's like, oh, русская учительница по русскому литературу, which is like, oh, like a Russian literature teacher. And I'm like, yes. And he's like, oh, ho, 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 ooh, ooh, ooh. Like, I don't know what that meant. Started asking me things about my mom, and then he's like, oh, me and your mom. I don't remember what it was, but it was basically a your mom joke. Talk shit about me. Don't disrespect my mom. I swear to God, I will punch you in the fucking face. And I was like, what did you say? Like, I literally was like, what did you say? And he's like, whoa, whoa, like I didn't mean anything by it. And then I'm like, oh yeah, of course you didn't. Okay, yeah, I was just joking too, huh? And he's like, okay. We go down now to Bondi Beach. He finds a spot like by the grass, gotta admit, really cute, takes the watermelon out, starts cutting it up for me, starts laying back, and he's just like takes it and then just like feeds me the watermelon, and I'm just like, you're beautiful. Take this with a grain of salt as well. I already knew that like nothing was gonna come on this thing. I was just kind of like enjoying the moment, even though I'm like, you're a dick, you're still cute, and I like conversations with you. Like, I know this isn't anything serious, so whatever. I told him that I want to move to New York, and then we're just basically we're talking about life. He is mostly talking about his business or whatever. I actually really am interested in like businesses and how people run their stuff. In my head at this point, I'm like, his parents are probably loaded. I was like, oh, so how did you, get to Russia when you were 16? He's like, oh, like my parents kind of like helped me financially with it, and like at like 19, I started my own business, and basically it like is going really well for me. And I'm just like, okay, sure, buddy, sure. But at the same time, he was like, I live in the northern beaches, and I'm like, so what do your parents do? And he's like, so like in the 90s or whatever, we started our own business selling wholesale like shoes and like socks and stuff. He's like, do you know what wholesale is? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what is it? Like, not expecting me to know what it is, and I tell him, he's like, oh yeah, that's what it is. Okay, cool. Like, so that's what it is. And like, he's just being like kind of entitled and kind of pretentious, but also like, my vision is clouded when someone's hot as well. I don't know, maybe I don't know, he's hot, okay, like whatever. He's telling me about New York, he's giving me advice. He's like, when I was 15, I lived in New York for 3 months, and I lived in LA for 3 months. We stand up, we're finished and stuff, and I'm just like, damn, I forgot his name. Like, what is his name? So I'm like, oh, this is so embarrassing, but I must have forgotten your name from last night. What is it again? Do you know what he says? Do you know what this motherfucker says? He's like, whatever you want my name to be, baby. If that isn't the most boy thing in the entire world that you've heard, like what? Oh my god, I was like, no, really, what is your name? He's like, no, seriously, like, I'm happy to be called anything, really, And I'm just like, but like, I need to know your name, like, what is your name? And he's like, Artur Pirashkov, and literally starts laughing his freaking head off, and I'm just like, I don't get it. Okay, cool, your name's Arthur, right? If you're Russian, I don't even have to explain it to you right now. Arthur Pirashkov, as my mum linked me the night after that, is some parody Russian comedian that's like, link here. Basically, that's what it is. And I was like, fuck you, basically, fuck you. So at that time, because I didn't know what it was, I was like, okay, the way that he said that, it probably means that that's not his name, so I'm just gonna laugh and just let it go, because I've already asked him 3 times. We're walking back to the car, and he's like, let's go somewhere else. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Because I was genuinely having a really cool time with him, and although I had red flags, he was very beautiful, and I was intrigued. So he's like, all right, like, let's go. I'm like, okay, cool. So it's like, I don't know, a 10-minute walk from Bondi Beach to where he parked his car. And he was like, what's your Facebook? And as we're walking back, I'm like, okay, cool. So God, like, I don't even think, I shouldn't have done this. Like, you know how you do stuff and then you like reply back, and I'm like, why did I do that? This whole day was full of those moments. So I write down my name on Facebook, and then he opens my Facebook, and there it is in all of its glory. He finds this photo. Guess what he said? Just guess. Oh, you must be really good at Photoshop, hey? Guys, I did not know how to act. I did not know what to say to that. That honestly just like winded me. I was like, how does a person say that out loud to another person? I was like, wow, you're an actual dick. Like, I said that to him out loud, and he kind of took it as a joke, and he was like, ha ha ha, like just laughing at it, like, oh, you're so funny, like, you're so cute, and like, ha ha ha. And I was just like, no, like, you're kind of a dick, like, you're a dick. Like, I said it literally 4 times, and he's like, ha 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 ha. And not like, ha ha ha, like, this is awkward, like, ha ha ha, that's hilarious, like, I'm a freaking hilarious person for saying that. And I'm just like, asshole. I literally said asshole. I literally said asshole to him, and he's just like, and I'm like, no, I'm joking. And I like touch his chest. I'm like, I'm joking, you're not an asshole. And looking back now, I'm just like, I wish I would have told him off more and just walked out or something. Like, I did not know how to like, I've never been, do you know what I mean? Like, I just didn't know how to act. So whatever, I'm like, flag number 655. So we walk into the car. I was like, oh, so you're just gonna look me up, but you're not gonna add me on Facebook? What's your Facebook? What's your Instagram? He's like, haha, nah, like, I'm not gonna share that. And I'm just like, Hold on, so I literally showed you my Facebook, I literally showed you my Instagram. As I'm saying it out loud, it just makes me sound dumber and dumber. He didn't disclose his name, he didn't disclose his Instagram or his Facebook, which is super freaking shady. He started the car and he's like, oh, so I'll drop you off at work. What time do you have work? And I'm like, 5. And he's like, okay, cool, like let's just go somewhere before that. He drives into Centennial Park and he just parks there. And it was just really fun, and like I genuinely had like a really fun conversation with him. And then he started like asking me about Daily Mail and our ads and like how many like views and like ads and like all of this stuff. It was like 4 p.m. I'm like, oh, like we should go now. He's like, let's stay for a little bit more if you want. I mean, we can go, but like let's stay. Like he just seemed like he wanted to keep on spending time with me, and he was just like really like comfortable. He's like, you know, like I'm having like such a fun time with you. Like this has been such a good conversation. And he was like, I feel so myself with you. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, okay, cool. And then he was also like, so why are you single? And I'm like, oh, you know, I was in a 5-year relationship and that ended a year ago, and I just want to focus on my career and myself. Oh, like why did you guys break up? What happened? And I'm like, this is my one rule. Like I already broke my rule for saying that I was in a 5-year relationship. And then he's like, oh, so what's your YouTube? Because I started talking about, obviously this is a natural conversation. They're like, what do you do? I brought up YouTube, and thank God for this first date because I learned so much things. I'm not going to tell anyone my Instagram, my Facebook, or my YouTube going forward, because that is way more information than a normal person going on a date, you know, because, you know, you can Google someone and yeah, there is information, but like I share everything online basically, and I do not want people that I don't know like looking at my YouTube as a first like date. He was so intrigued and I'm just like, I'm not gonna tell you. And then because obviously he knows my name and my last name because I gave him my Facebook, he searched it up on YouTube and I popped up, and so he looked at my 20 kilograms in 2020 video and he's like, whoa, cool, oh my god. And okay guys, if you don't make YouTube videos you might not understand, but if you guys do, you will get it. I hate when people watch my YouTube videos right in front of me. No matter if I was Quentin freaking Tarantino and I made the best freaking videos and they were like the most engaging and they were the best, I would not want my own mother watching my own videos in front of me because it's just cringe. It's just breaking the fourth wall. I'm like, please, like, don't watch my stuff. Like, please do not watch it in front of me. You can watch it in your own time, but not in front of me. I hate it. And he literally did not listen to me. He was just like playing it and I'm like, don't watch my stuff in front of me. And he started like scrubbing along and he's like, oh no, like you've been working on your YouTube really hard, haven't you? Because this is actually a really good video. And then he's like, yeah, like you have solid subscribers, like, oh cool, like well done. And I'm like, okay, cool, so that was a mistake. And then he's like, oh, so how did you like, you know, how did you even get to 83 kilograms? Like, how does that even happen? And I'm like, well, life happens. But I told him about like my broken foot and stuff, and he's like, this is the 3rd or 4th time he has commented about my weight. And he's like, looks me up and down, and he's like, but are you really 65 kilograms though? Or did you lie? Did you lie in your video? I'm like, I'm 85 kilograms. And he's like, are you sure? I was like, yes. He's like, right. And again, I'm like, what did you mean by that? Like, are you saying that I'm not 85 kilograms? And he's just like, and he just like kind of backtracked because he saw that he was like kind of getting me angry. Why would you compliment me and then say that? Like, it was just so weird. Oh my god, like saying it out loud, it's actually horrible. I was like, okay, so, oh my god, it's literally 4:40, like I am going to be late. So he's like, all right, like I'm gonna drop you off at work. And I'm like, cool. So he literally drops me off at work, we're having a great conversation. He's like, so like, but I just don't understand, like why are you single? Like, and I'm like, why are you even asking me? Like, aren't I fat or like whatever? Like, I don't want a boyfriend right now. I mean, I'm open to a relationship, I'm open to dating, but I needed to find myself this year. That's it. He's like, do you go on Tinder? And I'm like, Tinder is for fuckboys. And he's like, did the shifty eyes, and he's like, oh yeah, like I'm definitely not on Tinder. From picking me up to dropping me off, he asks me again. He's like, so how much do you make at Daily Mail? So I'm just like, I'm not going to disclose that information. And I was just kind of laughing, like, I'm not gonna say that. He's like, oh, are you ashamed? Are they not paying you a lot? I'm just like, why are you using this weird like manipulation technique? Like, that is just so gross. Aren't you meant to show your best kind of features on a first date? Anyways, sir, I don't tell people my salary. Like, that is, I don't know, like in Australia we don't say that. He's like, just tell me, like you can be straightforward with me. And he just really wanted to know. And I'm like, sir, what is your name? And he's like, okay, fine, but I'll tell you how much I earn. Okay guys, he literally looks inside of my soul without breaking any eye contact. He's like, I have $1 million in my bank account. How does one react to that? I was like, cool, but I'm still not telling you how much I earn. I don't really care, like, I'm not gonna tell you how much I earn. And he was just looking at me like he wanted to see a reaction, like what I was going to be saying or thinking or whatever. And he kind of like laughed and like smiled. And I get up and he is like looking up at me. I kneel down and I'm like, thank you so much for driving me to work. And he just smiled. It was like a cute, genuine moment. And he didn't try to kiss me or anything. And then I'm about to close the door and he says something and I don't hear him. And so I bend down again. He's still staring at me and he's like, Friday? And I'm like, what about it? He's like, are you free? Let's go out. And I'm like, okay. And then I close the door and I'm like, bye. And he's just like waiting me to walk off. And then he drives off and I'm just like, holy freaking crap. Like, what just happened? Apparently he's a millionaire. He called me fat. He made a mum joke. That Friday came, no text, no call, completely ghosted. So that was that, and that was the end of the whole entire thing. I still to this day do not know his name. I still to this day do not know if he was an actual millionaire or not, or if it was his parents that are millionaires. The fact that I literally got ghosted and I'm just like, you know what, this was a blessing. I dodged a bullet because there were so many red flags. Like, he was so shady, didn't tell me his name, like he was being blatantly rude to service people. Don't know his Instagram. Like, the only thing is my friend Mary knows how he looks like, and she's like, he's freaking beautiful. That's all I know, that's all I remember. Every single time that I do a story time, I want to tell you guys a moral of the story, because I believe every single story has a lesson for the person, and I think that if you're smart, you will make a mistake and you will learn from it. But if you're even smarter, you will learn from other people's mistakes and not make that same mistake. So I want to tell you guys what I learned from it, so you guys don't, you know, end up in the same situation. Obviously, don't get into a stranger's car. Tell people off as soon as they say something, or not tell people off, but just say, what do you mean by this when you say that? Because it kind of stops them in their tracks. They don't know what to kind of say. Keep a tally of red flags and don't chase after men. I obviously didn't chase after this guy. Take everything with a grain of salt and don't tell people things if they just ask for it. And go on a date for an hour or two and have fun with the person. Be open. Think the best of people, but take everything with a grain of salt and still be cautious. Tell people where you are when you're on the date. Don't be there for hours and don't get into their car. Basically, that is it. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and tell me in the comments down below what you thought of it, because I know this is a crazy one and I'm still sitting here like, what the freaking hell just happened? I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.